Top posts presents. The best of r/Askreddit. What useless fact would you like to share? Michael Jackson's hair caught fire at the exact middle of his life, to the day. So, I definitely went and double checked this, and it's true. Michael Jackson was born the 29th of August, 1958 and died the 25th of June, 2009. A life of 18,565 days, if you include the 25th of June 2009 itself. Dividing that by 2 gets you 9,283 days as the number of days when he was half as old as he ever was going to be. The 29th of August, 1958 plus 9,283 days is the 27th of January, 1984, the day a pyrotechnic malfunction on a Pepsi commercial shoot caught his hair on fire. Edit, yes, this includes leap years. Reading this comment on the 10th anniversary of MJ death, realizing it's been exactly 10 years today. Did you hear that? That was my mind blowing. The color orange was named after the fruit, not the other way around. But did the chicken or egg come first? The word egg is dated to the 16th century. Chicken, without a C, is from Middle English. So it's a toss-up depending on when the C was added to chicken. What did they call eggs before then? Edible chicken crab. There's a town in Alaska named Chicken. It was supposed to be named Ptarmigan, but the townspeople couldn't figure out how to spell it, so they went with chicken instead. I imagine this was decided in a town hall. Our town name is Ptarmigan. We must file a document to the state to make it official. Crickets can be heard as they pause when about to write the name town. Idiot stands up chicken. Wikipedia says that it was named Chicken because they couldn't agree on the spelling of ptarmigan and wanted to avoid embarrassment. I can 100% relate to let's just name it Chicken so we don't accidentally fuck it up. You can't fail if you don't try. Chicken ptarmigan. Edit. Okay guys. I typed 2 words and don't even know how to pronounce the second one. Stop giving me awards and spend that cash money on someone that's deserving of it, but also, thank you. We lose between 50 and 100 strands of hair a day. False. My wife leaves at least 175 at the bottom of the shower every day. Math would say that between 75-100 of these are from your wife's boyfriend. The grumbling sound your stomach makes, particularly when you're hungry, is called borborygmus. It's actually gas moving through the bowels. Edit. Words was its own named as an onomatopoeia. Similar interesting fact. Your mouth makes the same shape as your butthole when you say poop. The same is true for explosive diarrhea. Oh lord. Thanks for the uncontrollable giggling. Not diarrhea. The original definition of a factoid is an assumption or speculation that is reported and repeated so often that it becomes accepted as fact. But the word has been used so much as a small piece of trivia that it has now been accepted as such. So the definition of a factoid is, in itself, a factoid. The suffix oid means resembling or resembles, but isn't. The seabird, booby, is named such after the Spanish word bobo, referring to an idiot. Boobies would be the only seabird to land on sailing ships, thus sailors took advantage of this and started setting traps for the birds to catch and eat them. Want to know what the traps were called? Edit. Whoa, this blew up. Thanks for the gold, mate. Yes, I do. You're gonna make me look this up, aren't you? Booby traps. Username checks out. West Virginia was originally going to be named Kanoha. Country roads, take me home, to the place I belong. Kanoha. It kinda works. It really needs another syllable. Kanawaha. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. Remember, concrete still snaps. My femur went when I jumped off a cliff to escape and in rage cow, and it's still a little off 8 years later. Hold up, bitch, start from the beginning. Honestly, pretty much nothing to that story. Hiking just north of Ben Nevis near the west coast of Scotland. Cow was obviously having a bad day and clearly didn't like me, so charged at me. I decided I'd rather break a leg than get trampled to death, so ran and jumped off a cliff. Broke a leg and sprained an ankle and had to be retrieved by air ambulance. Cow was fine, I think. Holy cow. There is actually such thing as white crows. They are born with no melanin in their bodies, making them white. But you never see white crows, because due to their color they are most likely killed and eaten by their mothers when they are still in the nest. If they do somehow live to be an adult, they are shunned by other crows and live a lonely life. Edit. Fix grammar. Vikings fuse crushed animal bones with iron to fuse the spirit of the animal in the weapon, but this actually just made a predecessor to steel. When you do something really metal and end up making better metal. Are you tired of your weird, lumpy metal? Introducing bronze. Made with special ingredient tin from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Apparently, it is explicitly illegal in the UK to use a machine gun to kill a hedgehog, which means someone did it. Edit. My first popular comment is about the brutal murder of hedgehogs. I knew this would come in handy. Or at least attempted to. That's so bad as hedgehog. If the attempt failed, I prefer to imagine someone did, and their friend turned to them and said no, Jeffrey, no, and thus it became law. A second is called a second because it is the second division of the hour by 60, the first division being a minute. I'll be there in about 15 firsts. Bird poop is green because it contains the bird's urine, which is also green. Do they pee naturally too? Or do they just poop every time they piss? They poop out their pee. The poop that took a pee. By Leopold Butterscotch. Edit. Thank you for the silver, kind stranger. Most printer paper is 25% limestone by weight. Pigeons, outside of their usual cooing, have two long-range calls, a 3-note woo woo woo, that is a bar of 5/4, 5 beats per measure, and a 5-note woo 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 woo, that is a bar of 17/8, 8.5 beats per measure. When you mimic a rooster crowing, they will consider you their mortal enemy for life and always attack you on sight. They will also try to show off their might by tapping their feet on the ground in quick succession, and do a little sideways dance with one wing almost touching the ground, with the back of the rooster in full display. Also, chickens only know very few words, which you can learn easily and use to talk with them. You know he ain't gonna die. There is a town called Pee Creek in Ohio. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes. Thank you for appreciating my homestead's wonderfully named town creek. And there is a place called Poo Poo Point in Washington, USA. And there's a city called Cumming in Georgia. Edit. Woo, all the Georgians coming out tonight. It's a peach party. There's a place called Intercourse in Pennsylvania. A town called Dildo in Newfoundland. You know how sometimes there isn't a word for something? That's called a lexical gap. Most easy example is there is no word for someone who isn't a virgin. The closest would be non-virgin, but it's not a word on its own. Therefore it's a lexical gap. If a polar bear and a grizzly bear mate, their offspring is called a pizzly bear. Edit. Forgotten L or groller bear. Typically the species of the father is first with hybrids. This hybrid can be found in the wild and unlike many hybrids is not sterile. The water that they drink on the ice is reclaimed from all other water sources on the ship. They are drinking their own filtered piss, among other things. And the water we drink on Earth is reclaimed from all the other water on the planet in the past. You're drinking filtered whale sperm, among other things. Fun fact, nearly every molecule of water you've ever drank has at one point been peed out by a dinosaur. The Hass avocado, the most commonly grown avocado in the United States, was started by a man named Rudolph Hass. Rudolph was a postmaster from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who became so inspired by an ad in a magazine that showed avocado trees growing money, he decided to move out to California and begin growing avocados. As someone who lives in Milwaukee, I try to tell people whenever the opportunity arises. Barcode scanners scan the white, not the black. They actually use the print contrast signal, which is how the light reflects off of the barcode into the reticle. Source: I work for Honeywell. On average, 2 newborns are given to the wrong parent every day. Okay. When the baby emerges, mark it secretly in a kind of a mark that only you could recognize and no baby snatcher could ever copy. My friend did this. The nurse showed him the baby right after they cleaned her. He was in the room. He popped out a Sharpie and signed his name on her leg first thing. He had the pen in his gloved hand outside his scrubs the whole time during the birth and no one noticed, understandably. The nurses were mortified and tried to clean it off to no avail. When they brought her back into the other room they had them recover in, we got back a signed baby. The hospital that both of my sons were born in locks one of those house arrest anklets on them right when they pop out. They can't go through the wrong door without setting off a bunch of alarms, and a bracelet with a barcode and number that matched the barcode and number on mine and my wife's bracelets. And they compare them anytime we are separated for anything. Also, they never take them out of your sight without express permission. I was even asked to follow them back to the NICU for blood drawing for some labs my second needed. Every time your DNA is replicated part of the end is lost but the end of a DNA strand has a nonsense part called its telomere. An enzyme replaces this end but not efficiently enough for it to not start affecting it. This is what is believed to cause aging and part of the reason why cancer cells cannot die since the enzyme is overactive in cancer cells. Also 1 in every 10 DNA bases is incorrectly replicated and cells have proofreading mechanisms to correct this. Did you know that the original name for Pac-Man was Puckman? You'd think it was because he looks like a hockey puck, but it actually comes from the Japanese phrase paku paku, which means to flap one's mouth open and closed. They changed it because they thought that Puckman would be too easy to vandalize, you know, that someone could scratch out the P and turn it into an F or whatever. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. And have a nice day.